Hey, what's going on? Mike Gastin here, and I'm glad you have joined me today. I want to help you develop expertise, and I want to talk about a way that is really effective to do that. Now, why do you need expertise? Why does this matter? If you are trying to land a job, if you are a freelancer or a consultant or a business owner and you want to land more clients, maybe you want to get paid more for the kind of work that you do or land bigger, better clients. Maybe you're looking for a way to fill your marketing pipeline, your funnel. Expertise is at the core of all of that. Expertise is at the core of all of that. How many times have you heard somebody, or maybe you've been in the situation where they say, I'd like to get a new job, but everywhere I apply, they're looking for experience or looking for experience. Well, expertise can help deal with that. Expertise is our ability to demonstrate knowledge, to demonstrate understanding, to demonstrate insight. Expertise is not always tied necessarily to experience on the job. It's a command of a certain topic, a command of a certain idea, a command of a certain discipline. And the more you can express that, the more you can demonstrate that you have expertise, the easier it's going to be for you, whether you want to land a job, land clients, get paid more, or et cetera. So I want to talk in this video about how to build expertise. Let's jump right into it. There's a very specific tactic, a very specific activity that I want to impress upon you as probably the most powerful way you can develop expertise. And that is writing. Now, if you're like me, you have probably looked at writing and said, yeah, I understand you write articles. People find your articles on a blog. Maybe you start building an audience and so on. Writing, I get it. You know, you write an essay, you write an article, maybe you write a think piece and get some traffic. But I want to get past that because there's an idea underneath that I used to hold on to that I've let go of. And that is that writing happens after we think. So we come up with an idea, we think it through, we develop our position, our thoughts, et cetera, and then we write it out to share with the world. Now, clearly that is an element of the process, the idea of writing to share our thinking with the world. But what I've come to discover is that writing can actually be part of the process of developing expertise. And this gets at that old conundrum of how can I have expertise and experience if no one will give me the opportunity to do the work? You know, these jobs, they say, hey, 5 years minimum, 10 years minimum experience. You're like, well, I can't get the expertise if no one will give me a shot. No one will give me the chance to build experience. I need to get on the job to build experience so that I can get to the next level. But in developing your expertise through writing, you have the opportunity to become a person of substance with ideas that have merit and depth and ideas that attract others to you. Ideas that open doors for you. And you do this through writing. So what am I talking about? Essentially, you and I go about our day. We watch videos, we listen to podcasts, we read articles, we read books, we watch movies, documentaries. We are consuming content all the time. And a lot of times these pieces of content spark ideas for us. We might read a book and go, that's a really great idea that this author shared. I agree with this author. Maybe you're reading a Reddit thread and you're like, I really am learning a lot reading this thread. Or you watch a video by your boy, Mike Gastin, or by someone else, and you're like, I'm learning something here. This is making me better. But the problem with all that is what do you do with it? How do you make it your own? And how do you communicate those ideas out? Now, the problem is when you're watching a documentary, you're gaining information, you're gaining facts. When you read a Reddit thread, when you watch a video like this one, you're gaining pieces of information. And it's fine to spout that information back, but most of us can tell when someone's kind of reiterating something that they've learned or something that they've heard. How many times have you been in an argument with somebody, call it, political, religious, whatever, and they start spouting facts, that you know that they read a Reddit thread, they've read an article or two online, and they're just kind of spouting back facts that they've found online. It doesn't carry a lot of weight. It doesn't seem like that person has really come to terms with the ideas that they're sharing with you. They're just kind of arguing facts. There's a big difference between understanding something, owning it, making it your own, considering it, processing it, and then communicating that out versus having a bunch of facts at your fingertips that you can throw out there to supposedly impress people. The problem is today, everyone can do that. Everyone with a smartphone can do that. If you're in a conversation, all you have to do is grab your phone and you can start spouting facts. And if you've got a relatively good memory, which most people under the age of 45 do, as you get older, your memory starts to get a little tired, I would say. Maybe it remembers certain facts as easily. You can't recall things as quickly. But if you're young enough, You're able to spout facts. But the fact is, because everybody can do that, it's not interesting. It's not impressive. It doesn't grab anybody's attention. We're all doing it. We all have access to the same data. We all have access to the same articles, the same videos, the same content creators, the same blog posts, the same podcasts. We've all listened to Joe Rogan. We've all watched Casey Neistat. We can throw the facts around. It's easy. To differentiate yourself, to set yourself above the crowd, to start earning real money, to get yourself to a position where you can command the rates that you think you're worthy of, that you can start creating wealth. You have to become a person of depth with expertise. So what do? How does writing play into this? Instead of waiting to sit and think through something to come up with an idea so that you can write an article, let's say you're watching or listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and there's some interesting topic that comes up. Consume the topic, consume the content, that's fine. But take some time with a piece of paper and a notebook or an iPad, scribble out your thoughts. You can type, typing's fine. I'm not going to get too hung up on the method of writing, though I think there is something really great about handwriting, but I would not limit it to that. But spend some time writing out what you've heard. Don't necessarily copy the quote. Writing down a quote, underlining a quote in a book, if you're reading your Kindle, highlighting something and adding it to Evernote or whatever, that's not good enough. Capturing data points is not good enough. You want to interact with the content. You want to think about it. You want to wrestle with it. You want to formulate it in your own words. You want to explore it, expound upon it, stretch it. Use writing to do that. Take that piece of information, take that idea, take that piece of content, and write about it. Don't write about it for publication. Don't try to put an article together. Just write about it. Take the topic and start writing about it and see where your thoughts go. Now, what you want to try to do in this exercise, you can free flow, you can free form, you can just kind of write and let your mind wander. That's fine. But you want to apply a level of discipline where you're actually thinking through what are the consequences. So, that the author maybe made some statement. What are the consequences of that statement? What are some of the assumptions that the author has made? How does this connect or relate to other pieces of information that you've gained? And if you can, try to distill this thing down enough that it can fit on a 3x5 card. If you can take this idea and wrestle with it, play with it, and break it down into its constituent parts, put it in your own words and distill it down into the size of a 3x5 card, well, then you have taken the idea and you've made it your own. You can actually start collecting these 3x5 cards. Over time, you can have these thoughts that you've collected that are meaningful, that you own, that you've wrestled with. And now you're in a position when the conversation rolls around to this subject matter, something that relates to it, you can articulate these ideas as your own. Yes, you can cite references. You can talk about, well, I read this book, but you can articulate them on levels that most people are not capable of. And you'll find yourself, whether it's a job interview, whether it's a prospect meeting where you're trying to close a new account, whether you're trying to convince a client of going a step deeper with you or taking on a more rigorous, challenging project, whether you're just audience building or trying to build your marketing pipeline, you'll find that people resonate with this. They will look to you and respect you as an expert. So going forward, think about your writing as an opportunity to think through things, to wrestle with things, and to make them your own. That's the goal, is to make information your own. Don't become a repository of data points. Don't spout data. Everybody's doing that, and it's boring, and it's useless. It's just more noise. We can all spout data. Take information, wrestle with it, make it your own, and you will become a respected expert in your area, in your field, in your chosen line of work. And I guarantee you it will allow you to develop a platform and ultimately create more wealth for you and the people that you care about. Guys, I hope this is useful. Do me a favor, if you use writing the way that I'm talking about, leave me a comment down below or talk to me just how do you use writing? Do you like to write articles? Do you write blog posts? Do you use writing to think? Leave some comments down below. I'd love to know what you think. If this is useful to you, give me a thumbs up. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that this is content worth promoting. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. I'm all about helping people live the entrepreneur life, live life on their own terms, create wealth, and be more fulfilled. Guys, I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next video.